This family adopted a girl that no one wanted. After 15 years, they discover its shocking truth. Adopting a child is never an easy decision. The process is long and expensive, but in the end, it is all worth it, giving a child a better chance at life. Sometimes, unexpected problems can arise that complicate things. Watch to find out what some of these problems are. A single man adopts 5 siblings, so he doesn't have to separate them. Being in foster care is never the best feeling in the world without knowing if you're going to be adopted. When you have to wonder if you're going to be separated from your siblings, it's even worse. David Bennett, a 29-year-old man from Texas, USA, and the third child of 9, knew how bad it could be to be separated from family. When he was just 12 years old, he and his siblings were taken into care, but with so many brothers and sisters, it was impossible to keep them all together. This meant David was separated from his siblings and left to fend for himself. Not knowing where the rest of his family was, or if they were well, plunged David into depression. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now back to the story. So, when a situation similar to this presented itself many years later, David knew there was only one thing to do. After going through the foster care system, David felt that he wanted to give back and help other unfortunate children who had also found themselves in such a situation. And so he decided to go into fostering. In December 2018, Mr. Bennett found himself fostering 3 little brothers, Alex, 9, Mateo, 5, and Liam, 4. While in his care, the brothers kept talking about their 2 sisters from whom they'd been separated while in foster care. Aware of the emotional trauma of separation, David refused to let it happen to this family. He contacted the foster care agency and was able to locate the 2 sisters, Sophia, 10, and Isabella, 7, and reunite the family after 6 months of separation. But not wanting the possibility of the siblings being separated again, David went one step further. On October 30th, 2019, David officially adopted all 5 children. Now with a home and a secure future, the Bennett family is happier than ever. And although it's a big change, David wouldn't trade it for the world knowing that these siblings will be able to grow up together as a family. While taking in 5 new children at once may be a bit of a shock, it's great to know that this is a family that won't be separated. What's even more shocking is the following story. Keep watching to find out why. The adopted children turned out to be biological siblings. Being a mother is never easy, especially when you are alone, but for Emily Brooks, it was the only thing she wanted. Up until her 30s, Emily was just like anyone else, living in Denver, Colorado, married, with a house and a good job, but everything changed when she and her husband separated. Despite no longer having a partner, Emily still wanted to have a child, claiming that she was incomplete in her life. The only problem was that Emily had discovered she had infertility problems, which meant she couldn't get pregnant. Not letting these setbacks discourage her, Emily sought to become a mother in a non-traditional way by adopting. To begin her adoption journey, Emily first decided to become a foster parent. By doing this, she said that not only was she able to give back to children in need, but she was also able to test whether she was ready to become a single parent. In 2017, Emily took the plunge. In May, a baby boy named Ethan had been born, who was unfortunately abandoned by his mother. Upon learning of her dilemma, Emily was quick to come to the rescue and adopted her first child on May 25, 2017. But the story doesn't end there. Not long after Ethan was adopted, Emily received a phone call about another baby in need of a home, a girl named Ava. Unsure at first, she decided to go for it. Something about me is telling me I'm supposed to say yes to this. I'm telling you God is telling me to say yes, and I do not know why. Shortly after welcoming Ava into her home, Emily noticed something strange. What she discovered was about to shock her. She realized that Ava had been born in the same hospital as Ethan. Not only that, but they also had the same mother's name and the same date of birth on their hospital bracelet. After getting a little suspicious, Emily began to notice similar traits between the 2 children. After finding out, Emily told the caseworkers, and within 2 weeks, Emily's hunch was proven correct. A DNA test revealed that the two children were biological siblings. Resolving that the two children were destined to meet, Emily decided to adopt Ava on December 28, 2018, and she became part of the family. Emily has since learned that a third child was born to the same mother. Wanting to keep the siblings together, Emily hopes to also adopt the baby named Noah. How crazy to think that two siblings could end up with the same adoptive mother without even realizing it. But as unbelievable as this story was, the next one is even crazier. Amina's adoption and the shocking truth. Sarah Mitchell is a photographer from California, USA. She lives with her husband, Adam, and their 4 children. And although her life seemed perfect, she always felt that something was missing. "I've always hoped to make a difference in this world," Sarah said, "to bring kindness, peace, or healing to a world that is often flooded with loss." When the decision to adopt was made, it seemed like a no-brainer. Once the decision was made, Sarah and Adam wasted no time in thoroughly researching the process of bringing a new member home. For them, adopting was not about expanding their family, but a way to share their abundance of love and their home. The process was not easy, knowing that there were children in the US and around the world who needed help, but Sarah and Adam decided to adopt a child from Kenya, believing he was the one most in need. They began the process in October 2013, tackling piles of paperwork, countless sets of fingerprints, and tens of thousands of dollars. But finally, in 2015, the Mitchell family were able to welcome a beautiful, strong, and brave little girl named Amina into their home. But nothing could have prepared them for what happened. Over the next year and a half, Amina told her new family all sorts of stories about her beloved family and home in Kenya. But what Amina told Sarah didn't match the adoption agency's reports. At first, she thought it was the girl's way of dealing with her tragic past, but Sarah soon realized that this was not the case. What was this huge bombshell? It turns out that the girl the agency had spent years trying to adopt was not an orphan at all, and almost everything in her file was a lie. The more Sarah looked into Amina's case, the worse the revelations became. She finally discovered that Amina came from a very loving family and that her mother never wanted to give her up for adoption. In fact, Amina's mother didn't even realize that this was the case, but believed that her daughter had been sponsored by a wealthy American family so that she could receive a better education before returning home. It turns out that the adoption agency tricked the matron's mother into giving up her daughter in order to provide a supposed orphan for the Mitchell family, and by the time the mother realized what was happening, it was too late to stop it. Devastated by this revelation, Sarah and Adam spent months uncovering the details of her case to realize that Amina's mother's experience was not uncommon in international adoption. In many villages around the world, especially in poorer countries, there are families desperate to reunite with their children who have been illegally separated through inter-country adoption. It has been heartbreaking for me to realize that such a beautiful and pure act can be tainted with such evil, said Sarah. After discovering the truth, Sarah and Adam decided there was only one thing they could do. They had to reunite Amina with her mother and the rest of her family. Throughout the journey to make the Kenyan family whole again, Sarah was met with resistance at every turn from those who did not fully understand the situation and said she should keep the child to the U.S. government, who told her that it was up to Mrs. Mitchell to decide if she wanted to return Amina to her rightful family. Adam and Sarah managed to solve the problem and got Amina back to her home and family in Kenya. And in 2016, more than a year later, Amina was able to hug her mother once again. Although the Mitchell family was upset at the loss of someone they had come to see as a daughter, they were delighted that Amina was able to return home where she belonged. She was even able to meet her baby sister, who had been born during her absence. The Mitchell family continues to hear from Amina, often with photos and sometimes videos, and although losing her has been hard, Sarah wouldn't have it any other way after seeing how happy Amina is now that she is back with her family. Do you know of any amazing adoption stories? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more great stories. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.
Disclaimer: this channel does not support or tolerate any form of discrimination, racism, prejudice, or violation of human rights. The stories presented here are original and created by the author with the aim of promoting reflection, awareness, and dialogue. All content is developed with respect for diversity and the dignity of all people.